Understanding Investments a Few Minutes at a Time by Daniel Dower. From Chapter 7, Laying Foundations, Issue number 29. Trade-offs, Opportunity Cost. Opportunity costs are the cornerstone of basic economics, yet remain one of the most neglected concepts when it comes to everyday investment decisions. The idea is that given limited resources, engaging in any activity requires foregoing some other activity. The foregone activity is the opportunity cost. If I can invest $100 in only one of two investments, the first returning $10 in 1 year and the second returning $15 in 1 year, I would choose the latter and get a 15% return. In this case, the opportunity cost, the next best option that we had to pass up, is $10, or 10%, and the benefit of having the second option available is an additional $5, or 5%. The majority of investment analysis works to determine the value of a business in isolation, to determine its net present value, internal rate of return, break-even, etc. In reality, we are almost always faced with choosing between one investment and another, not an isolated decision. On one hand, it seems reasonable to evaluate each independently. Regardless of the answer one derives, the minimum acceptable rate of return should never be less than one's opportunity cost, the next best alternative. Seems simple. Ever-changing opportunity costs created by continuous new opportunities can make evaluating any business in isolation very difficult. Having a moving discount rate makes any individual analysis difficult. Unfortunately, there is no simple solution. Instead of fretting, let's just add it to the list of things to keep in mind as we consider our investments. One way of mitigating this problem is to assign a minimum opportunity cost, or a minimum acceptable rate of return. Depending on how I feel about other opportunities over the next few years, I typically use an opportunity cost, a minimum acceptable rate of return, of 6 to 8%. One who has fewer options or less time to analyze alternatives may decide to use a lower opportunity cost. I may also refer to this as the value of cash, the value of keeping ourselves out of one investment so that we will be able to take advantage of another in the future.